So Microsoft, formerly known as DART, Detection and Response Team, is their specialized NOC or Operations Center for cyber incident response. So that includes reactive or incident response services, right? Where it's 24/7 in the event of a Microsoft related cyber event or incident that's occurring for customers. It allows them to also have access to those security professionals right out of the gate versus going through the traditional Microsoft support channel where you have to kind of bounce around to get to the right team. This is a more focused, specialized, standalone service that customers can engage. With that, obviously, it is an add-on to their unified support offering. So it is considered an optional service that they pay additional cost for. And it is a containerized bucket of hours that is used for more retainer. So retainer hours, if you will. So they're there on standby and you utilize those for any cyber related incidents. It also gives you access to some of their proactive services like cyber threat investigation, cybersecurity, posturing and analysis and assessment that they provide, which other third parties can provide too. This is specific to the Microsoft container that Microsoft provides.
So Microsoft Incident Response, formerly known as DART, this is specifically for cyber threats like hacking, ransomware attacks. This is like the SEAL Team 6 for cyber threats and cybersecurity. Is that right?
It is very focused, yes, on security related end-to-end services, including proactive and reactive regarding cybersecurity services. They are on standby. They are 100% focused on cyber security related services and engagement. So they have basically proactive services teams and resources that are more thought out, not cyber event related, more best practices and security assessment around your cyber security architecture and where you're currently at and where you need to be. But it's very focused on the Microsoft stack, right? Microsoft's providing this to their customers. It is very centered around the Microsoft product stack. It does not go outside Microsoft's portfolio of services. So it is something to keep in mind for customers, because when you have a cyber event, it doesn't just impact your Microsoft infrastructure and devices. It's agnostic to the types of software and OEM product that you are supporting. So it is something to note. This is very specific to Microsoft related backend infrastructure. The old IR cyber incident was a built-in service for Microsoft. So the evolution to this, so the difference between these SLAs is the new evolution of the products that they're releasing. So there used to be CIR, which is cyber incident response, which was built into your support package automatically. So that would be your standard response based on your unified contract. So think if it's SEV, it's 1 hour with Microsoft, which is a target, not a financially backed SLA, 2 hours for SEV B, 4 hours for SEV C. So depending on criticality of the issue that you were calling in for. So that's where that standard response came in. What they did in addition to that with the old evolution of DART is they came in with DART and offered it as a higher tier service above their standard support offering. So it used to be included no matter what, but you had 1, 2, 4 hour response times. With DART, it came in and added all these additional proactive, dedicated teams, reoccurring cyber security meetings or TUBs, what they call update briefings with customers. So all these additional services that they added to their add-on, which was DART. And DART basically came in 2 levels. You had the initial level where it was that dedicated cyber event team to call. I call it the bat phone, right? You would call them dedicated to cybersecurity incident response. And then they had a second level, which included all the proactive and more managing of the cyber proactive services, the assessments, the security posturing meetings that they would do for best practices with customers came in like level 2 of DART. So all these kind of bundled together as kind of a service that sat on top of CIR or cyber incident response that was already baked into their product. Now, fast forward to where we are today. Microsoft looked at how, in my opinion, let's make more money. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill DART and we're going to kill the built-in cyber incident response model with Unified. And then we're going to just create one add-on package called cyber incident response where you purchase those hours and all of the services from DART are automatically included. So they've forced customers into buying separate buckets of hours where DART was an optional thing you could do. Now they've taken the cyber incident support out of the base package and said you can only buy cyber incident retainer hours in this offering. And we're pulling in all those additional services as value adds, quote unquote. And that's your one option. So with that, they have different SLAs for customers built into the cyber incident model than they do from what their standard support offering used to be.
Do you need an enterprise agreement to access Microsoft IR?
You do not. You do not. So incident response retainer hours are available to any customer that is needing some kind of what I would call insurance policy, literally, for any cyber security events that may occur within their environment. Again, very tailored to Microsoft stack. It doesn't really go outside of that. For that, customers would have to go to a third party, right? There's other cybersecurity firms that are dedicated to that are agnostic to the OEM, where Microsoft's, again, is very centered around Microsoft stack. You don't require an EA to purchase those hours. You don't require unified support to purchase those hours. It is a separate program offering that customers can purchase as a standalone product feature from Microsoft directly. So how does US Cloud answer the service of Microsoft cybersecurity incident response hours? How we go about that as a third party is obviously we are able to triage and support a lot of clients from an incident response on cyber related events. There's two very clear distinctions that I will kind of talk through briefly on how we handle and how we would refer to partners that are focused on cyber event related services. One, US Cloud can, any type of cyber event that's related to Microsoft, our customers that are on our service can call US Cloud for support. We can provide proactive assessment services, proactive best practices, design related to cybersecurity. We do have engineers on staff specialized in that skill set. Where it comes down to a line of what I would call a demarcation point is if it is actually a true cyber event that is occurring within a customer's environment. We have two options for our customers today. One of those options is we escalate to Microsoft. They do provide the cyber incident response services available to those customers outside of the retainer hours, if you will, as part of our escalation service we have in place today. We also have an option where we partner with one of the world's top cybersecurity firms to provide a all-encompassing solution for anything cybersecurity related. So that could be anything from cyber event attacks. So we're talking like ransomware is a perfect example. If they're having a ransomware event, we have a partner on standby that specializes in those types of services. US Cloud is not a cybersecurity firm. It is important to note that we do support security related Microsoft incidents and proactive services for our customers day in, day out. But our specialty is Microsoft again, right? We are not focused just on cybersecurity and services that are encompassed with that. So threat actors, ransomware. So if you're having an on-site event occurring immediately, you need someone that can engage very quickly and has expertise and access already built in to your system to jump in, parachute in, whatever you want to call it, to provide immediate impact of quarantining, identifying, and cleansing, essentially, remediating those events from your environment. Also, those partners also provide like negotiation as part of their service. So if you're having a ransomware, they are skilled and educated. They are experts at negotiating with those third-party threat actors or cyber event issues, those attackers, if you will, on that to negotiate on your behalf as a customer. So they are experts at that. And that's where we really leverage our partners to provide that more second tier level service outside of what we do.
Okay.
So customers that purchase an IR retainer have, if they purchase the retainer, there are typically more aggressive SLAs or callback targets on response times for when they need to engage those engineering resources versus a typical, like our escalation process has very well-defined SLAs, but it's not just specific to cyber event, right? Where retainer comes in is really, you're paying a premium upfront hours to get a more aggressive SLA of engagement from whether it's a third party or it's Microsoft directly. It's built to provide you with a peace of mind that you can get a more aggressive response and engagement from that partner providing that service versus just doing like a zero cost retainer, which even our partners provide a zero cost retainer. So there's no commitment up front. The hourly rate is typically higher, and it's what I would call reasonable effort approach, or as best as possible. There's no defined SLA in the contract that says we will engage within, 1 hour as an example. The no cost retainer is a best effort scenario where it's as soon as possible, right? Obviously there's priority and impact on that and urgency placed, but there's no specific contractual language built in for that customer when they call in, whether it's Microsoft or a third party. We do have the ability to engage Booz Allen today as a referral option, where we just say, work with them, get a contract retainer in place. They can do all that.
The people, if they wanted to, they could purchase Microsoft Incident Response hours and still use US Cloud for everything else.
Yes, so there is a perfect use case of that today with one of our very large enterprise customers that recently signed with us. Dart was something they were using, or formerly Dart, now CIR, and they wanted to make sure that they had retainer hours available. We provided them with basically two options. You have an option of, even though you left Unified, you can use US Cloud as your go-to, but also have Microsoft Incident Response hours on retainer directly through Microsoft, or you can use, which our recommendation was, to step outside of just Microsoft. They can buy those hours directly from Microsoft as standalone incident response hours and use US Cloud for their enterprise support.